Hello, welcome back everyone. I hope you're doing amazing today. So in this video, we're going to discuss some very important things, especially today being the day, few hours after the Bank of Japan, I think interest rate decisions. All right. And we're going to probably talk about some of the yen pairs, what I'm looking at, what the plan is on them. Okay. We're going to take a look at a couple of yen pairs and then we're going to talk about my open positions, how you can better position yourself moving forward. And that's just going to be today. All right. So first off, we have Bank of Japanese policy rates. Okay, excuse me, that's not what I wanted to use. All right, so good, that's that. So we have they released their interest rate. They made their decisions today. Okay, Bank of Japan eventually. Right here, it was tentative before because that's how it usually is. Okay, they kind of just figure out as it goes. They don't really have a time that they release their number or release their data. They kind of like figure it out as it goes. You get what I'm saying? So, anyways, they hiked their rate by 25 basis points, meaning they increased their interest rate by 25 basis points, which technically, or yeah, technically, it should increase, the way the people tend to invest invest in the Japan economy. Literally, that's what I'm saying. But the deal is, okay, Japan. The way investor kind of see Japan is like a carry trade. Okay, most trade that happen, I'm talking about the ground scale kind of trade or kind of transaction, not the kind of you want to buy euro dollar, you want to sell pound dollar. I'm talking about the investor, people that have like power and ability to push hundreds of millions, couple of billions, all right, of dollars. Okay, what they do with the Japanese yen is that they borrow money from Japan, okay, and invest it in the United States. Period. Okay. Number one thing, if you borrow money from Japan before, if you borrow money from Japan, all right, what happened is you get something like 0% interest rate before. But last year, because this year is almost last year, by 2 weeks time, we're going to be saying 2025 last year. So this year, that's what I want to say. Okay, they increased their interest rate, their overall interest rate before today. Let's say yesterday. Okay, it was 0.5%. Okay, and that makes it less attractive. And don't forget, the other countries that also cut their interest rate to 0% is what? Is the Swiss National Bank. Okay, they cut their interest rate into zero. Now, the four parties, Switzerland, or let's say Swiss franc, is already a very, very safe asset or safe currency. People love it. All right, people love it because of their secrecy, because of a couple of their legal binding kind of structure that they build, that if you have money in their countries, it will be very hard for any country to sanction you to take your money out. Something in that aspect. Okay. But that's not where we're going today. What we're actually going is what makes Japanese yen, JPY, and Switzerland, what takes them from the grass to the grace and from the grace to grass? Because what we saw this year is more like from grace to grass. Okay. First thing is when you have higher interest rate, it means people will invest more in your country, people will invest more in your currency. So your currency tends to look good, tends to look attractive. But the moment you cut it all the way to zero, it makes it less attractive. But what happened, and the major business deal that the Japanese yen or the Japan that investor kind of do, the major transaction between Japan and many of the investors is the carry trade system. Literally, they borrow the money from them because when you have higher interest rate, it discourages borrowing but encourages investment, right? People will save more and they will borrow less because when they save more, they get higher returns. But when they borrow at the same time, the same rates, they get higher, they have to pay more interest, okay, on the money they borrowed. So that's why people have to go to Japan of 0% interest rate earlier, invest their money in probably pounds in Europe, in the United States, based on the country that has a higher interest rate at that time. But as time goes on, this year we have 0.5%. That literally discourages many of the investors. As a matter of fact, some that probably have like a 10-year kind of loan plan. They borrow the money maybe in 2020 or maybe in 2005 or something like that, or 2015, that they will pay it in the course of 10 years. Now that the interest rate is going up, so the person will probably be paying more on the interest to service the loan that he took or she took. You get the idea? So it will discourages investors. And people will instead fly to what? To Swiss franc. And you saw what happened to Swiss franc this year, right? It has been a very beautiful shot. Okay. Swiss yen buy, Swiss card buy, Swiss CHF, everything Swiss as a base currency, just look for that. You can see Swiss yen alone. If you compare Swiss yen and pound yen, pound yen used to be the most volatile pair among the yen, right? But if you compare pound yen and Swiss yen has been like on the top of the scale since I think February, March, April, when Swiss National Bank actually dropped their interest rate to 0%. Okay, so that is the difference, and that is the reason why we saw what we got on Japan dollar yen this morning, because when you can see the cut rate, right? It should what? It should encourages people to invest more. So, you want to see yen actually get stronger against the currency like the dollar, right? You want to see yen actually gain some traction, gain some strength. But what happened instead that it actually got weaker? Let's look at the Japanese yen basket. I hope I have it here. Yeah, right here. This is Japanese yen. I think JPYX. I guess yes. You can see right there. It was actually on its way to the top earlier, and right now it just dropped based on this interest rate decision and all like that. So we could in fact see a further drop in the price of Japanese yen. Now another thing that Japan the Bank of Japan, so what they do, or another thing that they do, is that they intervene when the currency is getting weaker. They intervene. Because they borrow more, they get paid more. You understand? They have the money, they have the asset, they have the money stock in their country. So they can really just do what? Flip it back into the market. They invest the money in their currency. They use it to support its intervention. You get what I'm saying? So you can also do your own research on what I'm saying. So that kind of like keep their currency at a moderate level. But this year, so far, let's go to the weekly band so we can see what has happened to Japanese yen this year. This year has been a very, very funny one for them. As you can see, it just kept on going down. All right. However, we still have this particular 2024 low because it started from here, went up, and this year it started going down. Right. So potentially, maybe we're going to get a retest of this 2024 low before the intervention starts kicking in. Because believe you me, not just you and I were watching this zone. They have the bankers, the analysts, all right, Bank of Japan themselves, the governor, the chairman, they're all looking at this, including the prime ministers. Okay, they're all looking at this. Are you sure we are not at that point that we have to, you know, inject some money, that we have to intervene? You get the idea now. So that's just where we are right now on the Canadian. Sorry for the rant. Okay, I figured we should just do a little bit of that today. I think we deserve it. So back to my dollar yen pair. Okay, the trade I have on dollar yen. I'm still kind of like holding this one. I mean, the plan is plain and simple. On the weekly band, the plan is just to look for what? The retest of this particular high right there. Okay. I want to see this particular top around that 164 region. And I hope it get retested. Okay. If that get retested, then there is high possibility of a very sharp decline, potentially back to this region or even further down. All right. This might take a course like maybe 2, 3 months, the first quarter of 2026, potentially. All right. So, or maybe it's the first and second quarter of 2026, which let's the first half of 2026, something like that. So this can as well happen, all right. But what I would say is it is better to just watch out very cautiously on how this is going to unravel on the 4 hour time frame. I think you still have a shot to buy, in my opinion. If you want to look for a buy opportunity, wait for this particular high to get taken out, all right. A take out of that high, wait for pullback on dollar yen, and just look for a potential buy moving forward. Okay, I still think there is a very good chance that this guy in fact touch 160 region maybe next week. Okay, before the market actually go to the ZAP zone where you actually kind of rest, all right, for Christmas and New Year preparation. Most of the bankers now will be going on holiday, they'll be going on vacation, going on a yacht, taking their Bentley on a run for once. Okay, taking their yacht for a spin for once before they actually get busy again. You get what I'm trying to say? So maybe, all right, but wait for that entry moving forward. All right, something like that on dollar yen is possible because this particular interest rate hike that happened in Japan, the old drama that's going to happen already happened. All right, that is when it was priced in, when they actually came to terms that they're going to hike rate. We saw the market actually torpedo down, which is actually very good. Now I think the whole effect is over and done with. Okay, we should just wait for further push to the upside, which will also automatically lead to what a further decline of Japanese yen index. Moving forward, guys, I think I wanted this video is going to be long, short, but it seems like it's probably going to be long. So I said I'm going to talk about a couple of yen pairs. I don't know where I kept them, so let me look for them. Where are my minor pairs? I think this should be the minor pair. Good. So let's take a look at the Aussie yen. All right. So on Aussie yen, right here we have series of higher highs and higher lows, as you can see on the chart. Okay, we have higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, a very crazy low right here, more like a demand zone. Okay, liquidity sweep right here, and then the market made a very new high here. Then we have another higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. You get the point. Now we're getting a fresh new higher low right here. And you can see this particular low has already come all the way down 50% Fibonacci, and it's already on its way to the upside. Now, because of the little weakness that kind of happened on the Aussie, okay, you can see Aussie seems to be slowing down right now, right, compared to what we've experienced in the last couple of weeks. So I would say that personally, I would probably be looking for a potential buy after the market shift, right? Because we on the lower band, we must have seen a sort of like a market shift right here since this particular low got broken, right? So to some people, they might actually be looking to short Aussie yen, to be honest, because I mean, the market shift kind of story. But in my personal opinion, maybe best thing we can actually experience is maybe a retest of this particular region, and then we look for buy opportunity. Or maybe the extreme entry for me on the Aussie yen will be if the market come all the way back down to this demand zone right here. Okay, this one I think we could get a move to the upside on Aussie yen here, here. And lastly, for intraday traders or someone that wants to trade this particular pair today, can wait for a break above here, a pullback, all right, and then we'll move to the upside. But what I'll say is right here would be maybe a C plus kind of trade. This would be a B plus, let's say an A kind of entry, but I would say this is my A plus entry. All right. So because this will give me a better return if I'm targeting all the way to the upside right there. Okay, if you give me a better return, this will also give a very decent return, but not as much as this. And this will give a meaningful result or return, but possibly not as much as this. As these two. Now the thing is, the market might actually not come back down here ever again. Maybe in a couple of months' time. All right, it could as well come back down by next year for sure. But maybe in like 3 4 months, we might never see it there if the momentum continues to actually go higher and higher and higher. So you get the point. So I will be looking forward to these two entries. But for sure, if the market actually make the cross above here, pullback, I will actually be looking for buy right there. So apologies for all the drawings on the chart, but you get the point. You get the point I'm trying to make. Because technically we have a very strong momentum. All right. And you've seen that Aussie yen can as well come back to mitigate, demand zone, can come back down to mitigate other blocks. You understand what I'm saying? Can come back down to mitigate, key zones. Okay, we have resistance here, and then right here support. The same thing is happening right now. All right, resistance, support, resistance, support. All right, and also fall at 50% Fibonacci. So you can also look for buy opportunity at the top there. All right. Or if the crazy thing will happen, we have right here and we have right here for what? For more like a demand zone mitigation. That's what I'm trying to sell to you today. Okay. So if you are interested in Aussie yen, that might be something you want to look into moving forward. Other thing, I think we're going to talk about yen today. So let's take a look at Cadjpy. For some time ago, I was actually buying Cadjpy, but because of the whole drama and the debacle that happened, let me actually use a better zone. All right, let me use the zone right here. We have a zone here, number one. Okay. Also, we have another one here. All right, this is number two. Good. So because of the old debacle that happened right here, 1, 2, 3, I missed out on this third one, but I took this first buy, made some profit, took the second buy, made small profit, right? And then the market just came down. Once it came down here, I was already on few other assets, so I couldn't really join that one, and that was actually my trade. And you can see where it is right now. So if you ask me where or what do I want to do with the Cadjpy, I mean, it is obvious. This is not Aussie pair. I mean, this is not Aussie yen that we have a market shift on the smaller band. Right at the top here, there is no market shift, even on the 2 minute time frame. If you're seeing a market shift right here, you're probably deceiving yourself. All right. I'm sorry to say, but possibly you might be deceiving yourself. This is more like a pullback, another pullback right here. That looks very, very decent, in my personal opinion. Again, so in my opinion, there is a little bit of a divergence here. We have more like a lower low here, and we have like a lower high here. If we take this to like the 1 hour, or let's say the 1 hour time frame, let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame real quickly. All right, you can see what I'm trying to say now. Okay, we have what we can actually call. Let me make this make sense. So let's use divergence. Right, this is a lower low. Okay, lower low kind of move, and right here we have sort of like a lower high kind of move right there on the 1 hour time frame. So that is a very clear divergence. Although this is like a sailed and already sailed ship or something like that, because this has gone. Okay, it's gone. All right, but eventually we are yet to get a break of this particular high. So we have a bit of a demand zone here. So possibly, if you get a retest of this particular region, you can look for buy opportunity to the upside on Cadjpy. But I am just bullish on Cadjpy right now. Okay, everything screams bullish, bullish, and bullish on the Cadjpy. All right, and if you don't get that, I mean, don't forget I said, oh no, that's not it. I said right here. All right, you get a pullback to retest this place here. Look for buy. However, if the market break above there, also look for buy there. Look for buy here. I mean, the sky is the limit on this one. Let's take a look at the weekly band to be sure we have yes. We have a very good zone at the top here that can be targeted. All right, we have a very good zone right here that can as well be targeted for a good TP. All right, I mean it's on its way there, isn't it? This is a bullish asset on the weekly basis. You can see low, high, low, high, low, high, low, massive high, massive low, massive high, massive low. So we've seen very tedious lows and highs right here, and we've seen a couple of massive highs and lows. So maybe this is going to be another massive high, but you can bet that by the end of next year, we're probably going to be getting a fresh new high on this one. It's always going to be bullish, all right? every asset against the yen will always be bullish. Just know that, and no peace. Okay, so that is just the case. And why? Because of their interest rate, because of the way they even do business in Japan. You know, their what's it called again? Their entire carry trade scheme that I explained earlier. So that's just that. Okay, so on CAD yen, just look for buy opportunity. As you can see, the momentum is there on the weekly, on the daily, on 4 hours. So just look for good entry as discussed earlier, and chip in your your lot size. So let's take a look at euro yen, and then we look at pound yen, and then we're done here. All right. So euro yen also very decent, quite cool. But the reason why I don't like euro yen per se is because it doesn't do pullback. Right. It doesn't like demand and supply kind of pullback. Neither does it like what's it called again? Neither does it like this other one, the key zone kind of pullback. As you can see right here, I don't like what's going on now. Okay, so as you can see there, we don't have any kind of pullback. All right, the same thing is happening right here. I think we got a kind of like a retest of this particular zone here. Right, we got a retest of that particular zone there, but in my opinion, I was gonna be expecting something like this before I can look for this buy. But you saw what happened. You can see this ridiculous range band that got exploded to the upside, and now it's retesting this particular region. I mean, what are the odds, guys? What are the odds? That's terrible. And you can see this crazy gap right here that will probably never get filled ever. All right, so it's crazy, but you can still look for buy opportunity on Aussie yen. I mean, on Euro yen. All right, Euro yen, cool. Push to the downside here, look for buy. Push to the upside, pull back, look for buy around those two zones. Okay, the same thing we had on card yen. All right, but I don't really like this in my opinion. I genuinely don't fall for it. I don't. I'm not a big fan of Euro yen. I'm gonna put that out there like that. So let's look at pound yen. I think pound yen and Euro yen, they're more like sibling in my opinion. They don't do pullbacks, and when an asset doesn't do pullback, I don't like it. All right, I really do not like it. I don't fall. I don't like them. They makes me feel so uncomfortable trading them because most of my entry plan are all they're very much engrossed in pullbacks and stuff like that. So if you take a look at this also, you will see that we have a pullback here, right? Very cool. We have a pullback here too, very cool. And this gap that was questionably probably, I mean, arguably never gonna get filled. I think it did a little bit of filling there, but at the end of the day, it's still not fully filled yet. So, anyways, the plan is this is already high, all right. But you can see the reason why I'm saying you can look for buy at the top here is because all the highs are already broken. Okay, every single high has been broken. Every single high has been broken. So, what are the odds that this particular high will also not get broken? It's very slim, right? With the interest rate that just got released, it's possibly going to happen that the market will what will feed that, I mean, will break that high and rally to the upside. So the plan is plain and simple. Just follow the momentum as it presents itself. Okay. So today, don't forget, we're just talking about the yen pair, period. All right. And lastly, Kiwi yen. I think that's the last yen pair that we should talk about before I go today. So lastly, let's take a look at that, and then we are done. All right, all right, all right. Kiwi yen is better because same as Aussie yen, it's here to make the next rally. Okay, it's here to make that next rally. So I would say that you should also kind of look for a potential buy. Maybe if the market comes down here. All right, I was actually forecasting NZD will drop a little bit. Don't forget, I'm currently selling NZD dollar, right? So I wanted to drop a little bit so I can buy from a more cheaper price because I have a plan to actually hold, Kiwi for a long time. Probably the first half or the first quarter of 2026 is probably bullish before the bearish trajectory continues. All right. So potentially, maybe we're going to get something like this. A retest of this particular demand zone or this one right here. Let's make it make sense. We have one here and we have another one here. Right. So it's just very possible that we get a pullback there, move to the upside, or a pullback to this particular demand zone. All right. Push to this place and then move to the upside on the yen pairs. Okay. On Kiwi yen, excuse me. All right. And ultimately, maybe right there. Okay. Maybe here. But I don't think we have a shift yet. I think we might. For someone that trade the 5 minute, 15 minute time frame, you might call this a market shift because we have a break and return structure, right? So you might call it that, but in my personal opinion, I think we still have a shot at this particular top as well. A break above there, pull back, look for buy opportunity, right? So we have one, we have two, we have three, and per adventure, we have the last one, which is number 4. Okay, if the market break all the way down here, then I don't know the strength that comes to the yen, though. So that's gonna be mind blowing. But anyways, just look into that, guys. That's where I'll be stopping today. I'm selling euro dollar, I'm selling Kiwi dollar, so and I'm buying dollar yen. You know the trick. So that's that, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, like, and share. Bye for now.